From the ticket to your next meal, to your ticket to the next holiday, it's an easy way to ask for a boost when you're low. And keeping track of everything on the go. The future of money is simple, and it's here. Download the new M-Pesa app today.
Right, thank you so much for making time for us once again. It is Monday and it is the Bottom Line KE Day. It's a day that we all look forward to right here because we get to have conversations that are solutions focused about our country and the political events that have taken place and are taking shape in the country. My name as always is Eugene. And Dango, it's always a pleasure having me in your living rooms and wherever you're watching us. Remember, this program is actually very interactive. You can always be part of it. And the easiest way to do that is to join us via our social media platforms where we are actually live across. We are live on Facebook right now as we speak. You can leave a comment. And of course, you can also follow us on Twitter, which we are also live on. And the hashtag to use as always is the Bottom Line KE. And we are also live on YouTube. You can as well leave a comment right there. Now, remember that we will be having a conversation on the leadership that this country has. Do you feel that we have the right leadership? What do Kenyans need to do to be able to get the leadership that they deserve? Do Kenyans really have the leadership that they deserve? I don't know if the panelists will return that question and ask me the same, but we will be able to get to see that. But let me bring them on board right about now. I have none other than from the far right, Lacha nianzie kule mbali kabisa, Rachel Omolo, who's an aspiring member of parliament, Bondo constituency, under the ODM political party. Thank you so much for joining us on the program.
Thank you.
Also with us is none other than Frederick Okango, who's actually the Secretary General for the Third Way Alliance. A lot of dispute has been mentioned across the social media platforms. We'll be able to clarify that as we progress on the program. Asante sana Bwana Fred for joining us.
Thank you.
And none other than Gloria Oruoba. Gloria is aspiring to become the
Incoming.
member. Incoming. You're not aspiring.
No. Incoming member of parliament for Bobasi.
Yo umemaliza hiyo story.
Wewe tunangoja tu wakati for being sworn in.
Sawa, incoming, self-proclaimed incoming member of parliament. I have to make that clear.
Yes.
Wengine wakuja waseme she said that on your show and you let her do that. Right, under the UDA. This is now confirmed also.
Yes, that is my party.
That is your party.
UDA is my party.
Yeah, you can say hi to the Kisii population because we are live actually now in Kisii.
Finally, we are now in Bobasi. My people in Bobasi can actually, they can watch me and watch the wonderful content that you have here. That's good.
Correct.
Yeah, that's
Asanteni sana. Now, before we go into more details, I think we need to have this conversation and understand that the purpose of these panels is to actually have real talk. And I hope that we will be able to have that as we converse right here. Quick question. Do Kenyans have the leadership that they deserve? I mean, currently as we speak, and they always say ladies first, June Tanzia kule ama hapa. Wacha nianze na Gloria here. Gloria, the current leadership that we have in the country, in every aspect, do you feel that this is what we deserve as Kenyans, especially how they have executed their duties?
You know what I think? I think when we go to the ballot to elect leaders, and we actually cast the vote and say, I want so-and-so to be my MP, to be my MCA, to be my who, then of course these are the leaders that we deserve. What's a bit unfortunate is that particularly now, let's talk about the executive, you know, the president and the deputy. I believe these are the leaders that we deserve in a sense that we actually voted for Uhuru Kenyatta and we voted for the deputy president, William Ruto. And unfortunately, the events of, you know, them breaking up and, you know, then the handshake and all that actually affected the delivery of their, you know, the agenda that they had put out. But in terms of do we have the leaders that we deserve? Definitely. We voted for them in, and we must respect that because the power actually lies with the people. So, and that's why now when you're hearing IEBC saying register to vote, kura yako, you know, then they're actually saying that if you're going to say, I'm not going to participate, what's the use of voting? Whichever leaders you get, then you deserve them because you're also not participating in choosing. So I really think if you have not registered to vote, please go and register. If you have registered but you probably want to change your polling station or whatever, this is the time, because if you don't participate in this process, it's going to be difficult for you to cast the vote, and then you will get leaders who other people will pick for you. But if you want to pick your leaders so that you can have the leaders you deserve, we need to register to vote.
Yeah, and I'll pick it from there, and I'll bring in Fred. Fred, 760,000 only new voters have been registered in the ongoing drive by the IEBC out of a target of 4.5 million. You know, and someone would be sitting back and
week 3.
Yes, and there isn't much expected to change even in the remaining period of this voter registration exercise. Some people read this differently. Others are saying there's going to be a lot of voter apathy because probably those who participated in voting feel that the leaders that are there today are not the kind of leaders that they wanted to be there. They don't even probably believe or trust in the process of voting their leaders. Your take?
Thank you, Eugene. First of all, I agree with Gloria because she has admitted that the leadership that we have today is not what Kenyans deserve. That includes her party boss, because he is in the leadership today. I also agree with you when you say that it's a fact that the targets that IBC set in terms of voter registration might not be achieved by the end of the exercise, that they approximate to be 1 month. And they did say that they are not having any intention to extend it, how we wish they extend it. But look, election is not an event. Election is a process. It starts from pre-preparation, during, and post. Planning, voter education, civic education is a cycle. I am very worried that a lot of new voters, approximated to be about 6 million, who are going to vote for the first time, so that they can elect the person that they believe has got the track record of struggling for this country, the person that they believe has got the track record of ending the struggle, because the struggle must end. They will not have that opportunity. Why? Because they have not registered voters. Not because of their choice, but because IEBC did say they are lacking enough registration material. And we wish that if there is any institution in this country that believes that we are going to have a free, fair, and credible election as per the general principle of electoral system, then they must now ensure that IEBC has enough material and money to extend this voter registration, because election or voting is a civic duty. The only way you will have a true leader that Okango, Gloria, and my sister here would want is through election. But if you don't have a voter's registration card, or you are not registered as a voter, then you don't have that opportunity. So as I submit that, for me as Okango, and for me, I want to see a situation where the voter registration moved from 19 million in 2017 to 26 million, because that is the only way that more Kenyans can make an informed decision so that they have stake in that outcome of that election. That must be done.
That must be done. Rachel, do you read a sense of lack of faith in the electoral process as a way of choosing the leaders that we have, out of or based on the numbers we are seeing in terms of this new voter registration, the targets versus what has been achieved so far? You are going to vie 2022. Gloria has insisted and says she's actually incoming. But these numbers, these people who you expect to vote for you, yet we're seeing them reluctantly going for the voter registration exercise.
Thanks, Judane. Some of the reasons as to why we are realizing what we are seeing happening is because of voter apathy. Most of the people are not willing to go register because of what they've seen in the past. Will my vote really count if I go vote for Rachel in Bondo, who is going to be the next MP,
Yeah.
will she get the certificate? Will Rachel be the MP that we want? So you find people saying, no, why should I bother? From what has happened before,
Yeah.
why do we need to take up this exercise then? Another thing that we are seeing happening is because IBC does not look like they are ready also. They started by saying, we may not achieve our target within the 30 or so days.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, we are going to try and see what we can do within the 30 days to realize the targets.
Yeah.
But they came in a negative way. Are we going to because of lack of finances, or we don't have enough resources, and other things that will help them or aid them in realizing or achieving the target that they had set?
Yeah.
So as much as we as leaders or aspirants want to help achieve the targets, sometimes we realize that the kids are not even enough within those particular constituencies. So whom do you fault? The IBC.
Yeah.
Because they say, this is what we could manage with the resources that were available. So I'll echo what, or allude to what Okango said, that the agencies need to come together. If the government needs to support IBC, then they need to send more funds for them to achieve the target. Otherwise, we are not going to achieve even 50,000 more within this next week, because the same reasons have not been actually sorted out.
They have not been sorted out.
Yes.
At least I've seen several of your posters, urging people to go and vote. And for some people, this has been seen just as a routine. And I want to understand what practical measures you guys have done. Kwanza Bwana Okango, are you running? Are you running for any position?
You know,
so that now I can be able to frame this question.
my people tell me that they want to see me in parliament. I tell them I'm ready any day.
So this is a declaration.
So you cannot say you are running and you are not convinced. So what I'm trying to tell you is that as a leader,
Yeah.
I believe that the best opportunity that I can use to serve my people is through provision of services at the Legislative House.
So that's a
have your
declaration.
answer.
You're running. And because the people have told you that.
So you're asking a question. What is it that, as a leader,
Yeah, you've done.
not a politician,
Yes.
we are doing
Yeah.
to ensure that we increase the number of registered voters and achieve the target that has been set, not only by the IBC, but by Kenyans who desire to see a free and fair election that everyone participates in. Number one, I have said this more than once, that stakeholder engagement by IBC must be deliberate. So if you recall, we wrote a letter to IBC asking them to have a meeting so that we can see how they are prepared for the 2022 election. That was a process. Number two, when they launched the voter registration, the mass voter registration, we have been speaking, particularly to young people, in our own rights, in our social gatherings, in our meetings, in our churches, in where we go for car wash, and we are urging them that as a young person or as a Kenyan who struggles with life, the only gun that you have to protect yourself is being a registered voter and make a decision towards electing a person of your choice that you believe will end your struggle. So that one we have done to that end. Lastly, the other thing we have done is to speak out like we are doing now. We are speaking out and we are saying that target is not achievable because that institution could be lacking support from other stakeholders, politicians, religious leaders, the government, treasury. That one we are doing now. So those three aspects of support and engagement are going in tandem to ensure that we achieve that target. And very soon we are going to see, because we have said that the only fair way of achieving that target is to extend the time. And how do they extend without money? Treasury must give them allocation in terms of budget to ensure that that is achieved. Because there are so many stragglers out there who would want to register as voters, but you know what they don't have? They don't have access to the BVI registration kits. They don't have access to money to get into a boda or to get into a car or Uber and go all the way to that registration center. They'd rather buy food for themselves and go and register.
Right. Well, you've mentioned a buzzword, which we will come to very shortly. And the buzzword is stragglers. We'll talk a bit about that with time. I know, Rachel, you want to speak, but...
Yeah, I just wanted to say something that, which I think is very important. One of the reasons, and it's just something he said in the passing, one of the reasons as to why people are not also registering as voters is because I've not seen, and if there is very minimal civic education, as to why do I need to be a voter? Why do I need to take up this responsibility? Can IBC take up that role and educate our people the importance?
You really feel like people are not registering because they don't know why they need to register?
They don't even understand. They ask you, when they ask you, what is the importance of voting? Why do we need to get into an exercise which is full of violence? Why do we need to get into an exercise which already is predetermined? Why do we need to get up into a process which already know the outcome?
Right. So you feel civic education is minimum.
It's very key.
Gloria, are you worried going as the incoming member of parliament, having these low numbers of people registering to vote? This could be you losing out.
Yes, it's a concern. I don't necessarily agree with my fellow panelists because I don't think that the young generation, the virgin voters, the ones who've never voted, who we are pushing to register, I don't think it's not that they don't know why they should register. They actually know. They are more woke than any other generation, you know. These are the same people who, you know, will go online and say, you know, don't tell us about TBIM or Tialala or whatever, give us your manifesto. So they're already plugged in to the politics of the day. I'm a bit concerned because I mean, as we said, IEBC is actually responsible for that process. You know, when you ask the question as an incoming member of parliament, as a leader, what have I done to push this process? There's only so much I can do. Because even if I gather all the virgin voters, the young voters who've never registered in Bobasi constituency, and even let's say I have, let's say 1,000 of them, or 2,000 of them, and I gather them somewhere, I do not have the capability to actually register them as voters because that is in the sole hands of IEBC. You understand? It's not like they're outsourcing that. It's not like they're saying, oh, okay, aspirants or whoever or party leaders come, we give you BVRs, you go and register people. So there's only so much we can do as leaders or as active politicians or active Kenyans. I just think that at the end of the day, the expectations that we should have on IEBC should be met. And it's very simple. They started off the process saying that they don't think they can go that far. They don't, you know, it was already on a negative basis. And I think we should demand more from IEBC. The issue of resources, you know, this is one of the, let me say, independent agents of government that cannot account for resources. So to say that, oh, we don't have money to carry out the process or extend the days, first of all, can you tell us how you have spent the money that you got, you know? We don't have that transparency with IBC, and that's always the problem. So, I mean, for me, as a leader, the most I can do is encourage this young, the youth who have never voted to register. But if they tell you that there is no process being, the proximity to me and a registering station somewhere is so far that I have to take, I don't know, 5, then you're almost making it impossible for them. So yes, it's definitely a concern.
It's a concern.
Yes. And I really hope that they extend the dates. And I hope not only do they extend the dates, they need to put out more centers where people can actually go and register.
Right. I want us to move this conversation forward. I'm sure we'll still go back and forth on the IBC and the voter registration, but allow me to move the conversation forward and start tackling some of the top issues that affect Kenyans and tie in the aspect of leadership and where probably leadership is failing and how leadership should have stood in the way or in the gap to be able to fix those issues. One of the concerns that the nation is facing today, we are losing a lot of money on corruption. And corruption remains a ticking time bomb for this country when you compare how much we're losing and what it could do for our economy. Fred, I want to hear your thoughts right there. Has the current leadership failed in tackling corruption? Can any other leadership or the political class tackle corruption in this country?
Eugene, corruption in Kenya has moved from being systematic to systemic. It is wholesome. The President of the Republic of Kenya, Honorable Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, did tell Kenyans on a national radio station that we lose 2 billion daily.
Yeah.
The media report has been washed of headlines for the last very many years of money that has been lost through theft, basically corruption. And therefore it is a fact that in this country, corruption is a tradition. We don't want to blame Kenyans, but we want to blame the leadership that have been found to be culpable. I want, first of all, to appreciate the institutions that have tried. They might not have done as much as I would have expected them, the DCI, the ODPP. But for the first time, we have seen them arraign cabinet ministers, members of parliament, governors.
Only to be let loose,
just
let free.
Because we are a country of rule of law. And we are a country that allows anyone who is dissatisfied by any decision to seek redress in court. They have used that channel, and that's why we have seen that. However, let us now dwell in the solution so that we stop whining all the time. We have said before that for us to fight corruption, we must look at the type of leaders we put in place. Today, there are people who want to be president, and they're not talking about how they are going to stop theft of public money.
Names.
Today, there are many.
There
are many. Today, there are people who want to be president, but they are not telling Kenyans how the previous cases of theft of public money will be expedited. We have seen instances where people say that when you elect me, I will ensure that there is no corruption. But they're not telling us how. And that's why I believe that the surest way of ending corruption, we must implement what is called the Auditor General Report. In the audit, Gloria said that IBC has not accounted for how they use their money. It could be true, it could not be true. But I believe that IEBC is one of the institutions that the Auditor General audits. It is only the Office of the Auditor General that ascertains that a public institution has used the money lawfully. That is the provision in law. Now, if the Auditor General report shows that the 47 county government have misappropriated money in equal measure, shows that the office of the deputy president, the office of a governor, the office of member of parliament has misappropriated, what action has the institution tasked with protecting public funds done? Remember, the principle in public finance is that public money must be used in a prudent manner. The question has been, there is a weaker link between the judiciary and the investigative arm and prosecuting arm and the Auditor General. And we have always advised and said, if we are to succeed, then we must now work systemically the same way that corruption has been working to ensure that the first piece of evidence on corruption that is used in a court of law is the Auditor General report. Number two, that Auditor General officers must be witnesses because they audit these accounts. So for me, if I look at the type of leadership, people are just dancing around, saying very nice slogans, very nice things, but they're not telling us. Even if we were to provide youths with 50 billion to secure jobs, how are you going to protect this fund from the corruption sharks? They're not saying us. And that's why we as Kenyans and the stragglers who are watching this show today, who are saying that we want to end the struggle in the fight against corruption. We want to see proper mechanism. And I've just given them one of them. Yes.
I'll come back to now you as, let me just say, incoming member of parliament, because of the power of the legislatures in actually formulating laws that would govern whatever ideas that you're putting out here. Because if they're not within the law, then they'll just also be slogans.
The first thing that we must do when we enter parliament
is before we give Okango more airtime.
Is to ensure that we legislate on the time frame that crimes of economic crimes take in court. Number two, we must punitive measures.
Allow me
we must put punitive measures to fight theft. And the last one
You
that
see,
was
you
legislated.
see,
Allow me, because
question-
I'm actually asking a very Okango akiulizwa swali,
Yeah.
what have you done?
Yes.
Anasema we
Yeah.
wrote the letter.
Yeah.
Who is we?
Exactly, that's why I'm
Who is
asking
we?
him.
And
Now,
even
as
now when
Okango,
he's saying, as
yeah.
Okango is saying, we
Yes.
must. We
Yes.
must. Who is we? They are like these
Yes.
people who are running around
Yeah.
him and the stragglers.
Okango, why are you
and
running
they're
around? Why are
becoming
you
we?
skirting around the
I'm
issue?
not skirting.
Yes.
Because
Who is
as a
who?
leader, I represent Kenyans. And you see, if you are a leader who is selfish, that is not leadership. You are somebody
No, but
who
it's
speaks for himself.
one leader.
So what
He's
I'm
one
saying-
leader. So how
So what
can
I'm
he be
saying-
we?
Yeah.
So
you
the
know, you
first,
need to
the
protect me
first reason
from,
why I was asking is because
protect
he
me
was
from noise.
referencing
Yeah.
Third Way Alliance.
Protect me from
When he
noise.
said we wrote a letter,
Yeah.
he was actually referencing Third Way Alliance.
Yes,
and,
we did.
and yes, yet you are asking us,
Yeah.
what have we done personally?
Correct. From a
as
personal
leaders?
level.
I have said-
And then,
Yeah.
now
I
when
have
he's
said-
talking about stragglers, he is saying that's why they have formed this movement called the stragglers. When akisema they,
So at what
we
point,
just need
where are you?
clarity.
Yeah, where's the
We
clarity?
just need
Draw the line for us. Tell us,
did-
you're speaking as Third Way or you're speaking
You know,
as a
I know I'm a
straggler?
minority,
Yeah.
but minorities need protection. Even the provision of Article
protection.
100
They
needs
must
them.
want
And even as he says that,
So I don't expect Gloria to host your show.
Yeah.
And with all due respect,
No, she can, she could.
come
But
on.
what we're
So
saying
if
here
Gloria
is
is okay,
we need
Just
clarification.
clarify who is we in every statement that you
Yeah.
make.
I am the Secretary General of a political party, Third Way Alliance Kenya.
Okay.
And on an individual capacity, I also represent or I belong to other movements that strive for change. And therefore, when I say we, I mean we, the many institutions that I represent, because I have worked with them.
Right.
Now, you asked me a very direct question.
Yeah.
What, God willing,
If you-
I am elected,
Yeah.
not if,
Yeah.
when I'm elected as a member of parliament, what are these measures that I will push for to ensure
Two main
that-
ones, because
I
of
have
time.
said
Yeah.
we must legislate
Who is
on
we?
the provision
Aye.
of law that protect public funds.
Yeah. You know, on the floor of the House, you can push, you can actually...
Okango alone, as a member of
parliament,
Thank you.
yes.
cannot vote for that bill to pass.
But he
You
can
will
propose
lobby
it.
people
You can
like
propose,
Gloria,
lobby, and
Yeah.
mobilize.
people like
Yeah.
Gloria,
Yeah.
who I doubt will see because anyway, another story. So for me, Gloria,
I will in parliament, by the way, whether he likes it or not.
And Rachel.
and my friend, what I'm saying,
Yeah.
I would want to see a situation where we respect the institutions that protect public funds. Because we have seen as a country
Yeah.
where people go around and insult these institutions.
Yeah.
I, Frederick Okango, I would not want to see a situation where institutions that are tasked with protecting public funds, after they have cited a case of corruption, they are being insulted. And therefore, I will push for an amendment of some of the laws that are weaker now, particularly on the timelines that these cases take in
Yeah,
court.
sawa. Fair enough. Rachel, I think, let me clarify now. I want the how part to be answered more than the what part, because I think we have
The
a
what
lot
part
of the
one
what.
should answer that.
Yes. I want to hear the how part.
Stop
I
speaking.
think
Yes,
Okango
yes,
just spoke
yes.
about so many things
Yes.
until we lost track of
yes,
our
sorry.
discussion.
Yes.
So maybe you just bring us
So
back
corruption,
to what we were
yes,
talking about.
corruption and the role of leadership. And
Yes.
you personally, as you vie for the Member of Parliament seat, what is it that would be your first order of business as a parliamentarian? Let's say you have been elected now and you are on the floor of the House. And this issue of corruption, we keep talking about it on the corridors and here, right, left, center. Yet you as a Member of Parliament could or would have or has some power to be able to stop it or to control it. What is it that you'd be doing or want to do?
I think one thing that I will champion is the independence of the judiciary. Because
Absolutely.
that is one agency that, or arm of government that needs that independency to take charge and control of all these issues.
How will you do that?
Because we make sure that the laws that we pass within Parliament strengthens the judiciary. Something like the ombudsman that was being talked about, you get? If that affects the independency, if that affects the operation, then such things should be looked into even deeper. Another thing we should look at is how then do we ensure that EACC does its work, DPP does its work, that there is no overlap of what? Of roles.
So what you're saying right now is that there is interference. Is that what you're saying?
It looks like there is interference, said that this person feels like, I have done my part, I've left it for you. Someone says, you didn't do enough work. then can the roles be cut out clearly such that each and every agency knows its role, such that they articulate and does it well to the expectations of the citizens?
Yeah, but
I think, Eugene, if I can assist her on the independence of the judiciary. You know, there's a point that Okango tried to elaborate, that the reason why most of these people actually do not get convicted is because we are a law-abiding country, and so we have to follow the law to the letter, and there's a lot of loopholes and, you know, challenges in between the process of from the arrests down to conviction. When you look at, when you're talking about the independence of the judiciary, the one thing that even our former CJ had an issue with is when you're supposed to be an independent organ, an independent agency, but then your budget lines are actually approved by the executive. Then all the executive has to do is ensure that I frustrate you financially to a way that you don't have resources to actually push for convictions. Because if I come today and say, for instance, so-and-so is, we think that they have been corrupt, we think they have been stealing this and this money, we actually have to prove beyond reasonable doubt with enough evidence that this person indeed is guilty. And that process requires investigators. That process requires independence on so many, the police, all these arms of the actors of actually implementing the law. And all those arms, you reach a place where you're even saying, as maybe the police, that you want to file in a statement or you want to get a medical report, then you have to go to this. All those individual arms actually require resources. But as the judiciary, if there was a way that we could actually push for some piece of legislature that removes that approval of the budget from judiciary from the executive, such that it is standard that judiciary, whether you like it or not, whether you are President Uhuru Kenyatta or not,
you know, she stole my time.
So, no, but you know, I'm just,
I want to clarify.
But she did not ask for assistance.
Yes, exactly.
And she's not,
But she feels like you're taking away her time and you're misrepresenting even her own point.
Exactly.
This is my point. And that is what I would push for the independence of the judiciary, because if you're still relying on that approval from the executive, that is one very major way to frustrate the process of from arrest to convictions. That's where a lot of people, they know.
Let me correct something that she said.
Donate 5 of my minutes.
Can she just clarify? Only a clarification, point of clarification,
Gloria here is talking to us and telling us that to the point of prosecution, that there is need for finances and all that, and that's why they're not able to prosecute those who are found guilty of the offenses. I think I spoke about overlap of roles. ESCC, by the time they take you to be prosecuted, they've done all the due diligence. They found you culpable of whatever crime that you've committed. So why should the judiciary again go back to start investigating what the ESCC had investigated? So what she's saying is actually not correct.
So can I just ask an honest question? How come the KEMSA, there was a report that, Kango, there was a report that was tabled by the Senate about the managed equipment services. That is where we had all this equipment that was being rented and distributed to a level 4, level 5 hospitals.
What's the point?
The point is, the report in itself at the Senate elaborated all this, let me say, you know, processes that were actually flawed. It even had to the point of which any one of these independent bodies, whether it is ESC or what, could actually just pick that report, start the investigations and go.
So you think there's a deliberate
now let me
plan
ask
to
you,
just
same thing with
not
KEMSA.
prosecute?
Same thing with KEMSA. And you know, the way she said, once ESC has found ABCD, then you know there's no reason for judiciary. And you know, I'm not a lawyer and I'm not an INE, but I'm just asking if it is that simple the way it is placed. How come, for instance, the KEMSA alleged thieves have not been convicted?
I think she's getting it wrong.
That's my question.
So Eugene, I always appreciate order, and I do appreciate that we are trying to be ordered. Now, it is very wrong to say that you can change the constitutional provisions and deny the rightful institution that appropriates and divides funds. By the way, the executive do not appropriate funds, they don't divide funds among the government institutions. That job will be done by myself and Gloria when we get to Parliament. And therefore,
Why are you leaving her?
it is the job, because I'm responding
He's
to her.
jealous because I'm going to be above the president's
No
Yes,
problem.
yes.
I mean, I'm not. You know very well, I'm not. And I would want to encourage as many many young people.
You're thanking. Just proceed.
Go ahead, proceed.
For me, I think Gloria is not honest. And also, this is a show that is watched by millions of Kenyans.
Correct.
So to take opportunity to just tell Kenyans
Educate
what
and tell
happens,
them the
you know.
truth, yeah.
The appropriation of budget, in fact, it starts from submission of that budget, the approximates, by institutions. The judiciary, through the chief registrar, they send what they think they need to Parliament.
Yeah.
Executive send theirs. Parliament, of course, they have theirs. IBC, all other commissions, institutions, they send. And that one is debated. And it is looked upon. Then Parliament now appropriates. Okay?
Yeah.
And that's why we have this division of revenue bill passed and finance bill and so on and so forth. That is the process. However, we have seen instances where, and this is where I agree with Gloria, judiciary have complained before that we don't have capacity in terms of financial capacity and resource so that we can fast track these backlogs. It is the duty of the government of the day to ensure that that service is provided. If it means lobbying other institutions that are tasked with that, they should, so be it, they should do it.
Yeah.
To that extent, I agree with Gloria. Where I don't agree with Gloria is that you can wake up one morning, you are a president and say, no, we must add judiciary. No, it cannot happen. There's a process. Lastly, so that I give my colleagues time, I believe that we are not very bad as we think in terms of measures to fight corruption.
Yeah.
We are just a lazy country where institutions have been made not to work deliberately. And as a party, if you recall, when we proposed Punguza Mizigo, we did put measures in place that is going to strengthen institutions. One of them was to ensure that we have an audit, we have a systematic or methodical audit that looks at these institutions and provide regular report. Because that's the only way. We do have today the budget of control of budget. After every 4 months, the control of budget submits a report to the county assemblies and to the National Assembly to check how...
Fred, in all fairness,
Is digressing.
in all fairness, I think you're digressing, and I agree with Gloria, because when you talk about Punguza Mizigo, you'd be like someone talking about BBI.
You know what?
No.
Anangwe, please allow me to. Please allow me.
Let me clarify so that this is not gotten out of context.
Yes.
Because these are processes that have gone through the constitutional process and they have not met the threshold. So it would be like talking about something that we can't even move.
So you didn't get me. So allow me to clarify.
Yes.
I am saying, as a party that proposed a constitutional amendment, the biggest burden is the burden of theft of public money in this country. We did propose on measures to strengthen institutions so that we curb theft of public money. That is what I'm saying. So, in short, what I'm saying is that we must go back and look at the strength of our institutions. Are they strengthened enough to ensure that we stop theft and wastage of public money? That is what I'm saying.
Right.
So when we should not bring this idea of BBI, I don't know. No, we are not there. We are in fighting corruption, and we are discussing that at Look Up TV.
Correct.
Let's do that.
Correct. Because what probably the viewers would want to listen or to hear, Bwana Okango, I was clarifying, and I think it is clear, and I think it is water under the bridge. Mheshimiwa Gloria, on the issue of leadership and the roles of the different government organs, organs of leadership, the argument has always been that we have leaders who do not understand their role. You've had situations where some of our parliamentarians have been blamed for actually proposing or sponsoring weak bills or not knowing even how to do that. Do you think that is one of the biggest problems?
I think it's one of the problems. I mean, I will be able to elaborate that because it's also seeming to be a future problem that we are going to take with us. I mean, first of all, what we need as a country is consistency. And I've said this before. We started with Vision 2030. We dropped it. We went to the Big Four agenda. We dropped it. We moved to BBI. We dropped it. The other day I heard now they are trying to bring in Sijui unity and what. Who knows how long that will last. Now, when you talk about leaders and what the issue is it because they don't understand? Is it because they are confused? I think it's just a cocktail of it all. Take, for instance, my co-panelist here, who's a very good friend of mine. When we started this journey, he was really pushing Punguza Mzigo, which, if you ask me, was a brilliant initiative. By the way, if it wasn't for the fact that it didn't meet the threshold at the county assemblies, that was actually the anchor of everything that we need to bring down the cost of running this country. But again, you see, as our leaders are, lack of consistency, it's like the next fresh thing, you know. He quickly dropped that. Where did he go to? He was sitting with me in Bomas, pushing for Building Bridges initiative, which was actually the contrary of Punguza Mzigo, because this was an initiative that was pushing for 600 and something legislators.
You just threw him under the bus, eh?
No, I'm just stating facts. And when we have, kindly allow me to complete my line of thought. When we had that conversation with Okango, I said, it seems like you're either the wrong person to fund this because yours was Punguza Mzigo, minus, but now BBI is like plus. He quickly dropped that. Very quickly dropped that. Because you know, when BBI started looking like it's about to tank, Reggae was stopping, nini, Okango was out of there. The next thing now we're hearing, he's struggling. He's now in the stragglers movement. Before that, actually, he tried to go back to the Third Way Alliance and say we might do ABCD, Wakapigana, Naikuru, Okot. Now he said, no, now we are struggling. As stragglers, you see, he's telling us that as stragglers, who I represent, blah, blah, blah. Who knows how long Okango is going to last in this initiative? And that is the problem that we have with our leadership. It is just lack of consistency, lack of actually trying to complete something to fruition, you know. And sometimes I respect even the drivers of BBI who are still singing reggae when there's nothing, because at least the one thing they have is consistency. But our leaders do not actually understand what this country needs. And those who understand what this country needs actually don't have the consistency. And at the end of the day, if we are going to say, okay, fine, let us look at someone who looks stable, they are going to push us. When did all these initiatives start? When did the Hustler Nation initiative start? We have been on that journey, consistent, addressing issues of the hustlers, addressing issues of the bottom-up economic approach. Even when they came with the insults of bottoms and what, we did not, we were tulisimama imara na tukaendelea nayo. Talk up, for instance, about Raila Odinga. He started with Buy Kenya, Build Kenya. When he realized that, Hustler Nation is moving. So he was like, we need something, guys, quick. Akina Sifuna akamwambia, Buy Kenya, Build Kenya. 2 weeks later, that was dropped. Like hot stone dropped.
Yeah, but it should be your concern.
Listen, no, let me complete. Let me complete. When it was dropped, the next thing you were told about ODM was that sasa inawezekana.
She's from ODM.
Inawezekana, I have not finished. Inawezekana was dropped very quickly. The next one you were told was, now we are told Izama, what is that? Azimiola. In a span of 2 months, they have not managed to actually get one solid anchor and say,
we have someone here from the ODM. She can speak for her party or herself. Just clarify.
Before I even clarify, I don't think it's a matter of consistency on these issues. It's the goodwill that is lacking. It's not about Punguza Mizigo. If it was a good initiative, as she said, why did she jump ship from Punguza Mizigo to support a BBI initiative which she perceives was...
I did not. I've never been in Punguza Mizigo. No, but factually, I've never been in Punguza Mizigo, and I've never been in BBI. I was invited to BBI, and I gave my opinion that was contrary. I have never been an initiator of Punguza Mizigo or BBI. That was Okango. Focus.
Endelea. Finish your point, unless if you've finished.
No, I haven't finished. So for her to say that Baba started, or the ODM, we started something like Buy Kenya, Build Kenya, I think that is still ongoing. If she's not supporting the local industry, that is her. But I think Buy Kenya, Build Kenya initiative is still ongoing, as far as I'm concerned. And that is what is building the nation as we speak. Because we are encouraging enterprises, we are encouraging entrepreneurs, we are encouraging new ideas. So that is ongoing. Azimio la Umoja is something that is bringing Kenya together, unity of purpose. So it's not something that it is a short-term thing for us or for anyone. If I were her, I would move, because for this country to move forward, for this country to develop, we need unity. We cannot do anything without the peace.
Yeah.
So I think that is an initiative that is not anchored on an ODM party.
And inawezekana?
Inawezekana is a slogan. Of course, unity is inawezekana. There's nothing wrong with unity being possible. I mean, for the longest, we've seen...
I think I've given you...
No.
You haven't finished the point.
For the longest in this country, we know we've never seen eye to eye with certain people, and that is the unity that we are fostering.
Would you?
Yes.
Would you, in 2022, see eye to eye with Deputy President William Ruto?
Deliberately. I would be deliberate about it. Yes, because Baba started an initiative that is for posterity. It is not just for 2022.
Yeah.
Eugene,
yes.
In politics, you don't get emotional.
You don't get emotional.
That is the rule of the game. So I encourage us not to be. Number two, you gave Gloria a golden opportunity at this prime time to sell UDA. She failed. Instead, she attacked those she perceived to be her competitors.
He actually asked me a question which I answered.
Because
It was not
his
a-
line of thought.
No, but he asked me a
So
question.
the issue here is not about changing.
Yeah.
It's only a fool who doesn't change his mind or her mind. I don't want to believe that others are fools, but I want to believe they're doing what suits them. So when a leader sees a problem and he has a solution at hand, then somewhere midway, he or she realizes that there's a better solution, you go for the better solution, because what the public want is an instant and better solution, if not best.
Yeah.
That is why leaders who have succeeded always change tact. I want to urge Gloria to start changing tact. It doesn't mean you flip-flop.
In your context, change of tact
Change
here
of
was
tact
when?
mean,
Yes.
if you are climbing a hill and you realize that you have heels, remove the heels, put on gumboots or sport shoes.
Yeah. So in the context of Punguza Mizigo and
Number
BBI.
two,
Yeah.
no, it's not related at all.
Not related.
Because constitutional
And
amendments
stragglers.
are amendments for Kenyans.
Yeah.
And by the way, I said the biggest burden in this country is the burden of corruption and theft of public money.
Yeah.
And if you look at all the constitutional amendment process that have been attempted in this country, they have all talked about how they can try and stop theft. So there's nothing changing tact there. If you look at all of them, they have all talked about strengthening devolution by adopting the word as a primary unit of auxiliary development. There's nothing changing there. If you looked at all of them, they have all talked about ensuring that there's women inclusivity in political leadership, so that they two of them who are women today have an opportunity to be in parliament or senate or even be governors. There's nothing changing talk about that. If you look at all of them, they have talked about strengthening the economy through equitable resources. And I am saying today that what we need most, Eugene, is not leaders who talk too much and do nothing. Is leaders who look at the slope. If you are on a hill, you remove the hill, Gloria, put on sport shoe. Gloria is sticking on wearing heels even when she's dancing Rumba. You will fall. Be alert.
Maybe she has the tactics.
You
of
know,
dancing the Rumba
I was going to ask him also. This my heels. Kwani Okango has worn heels to know whether I can't climb Mount Kenya with heels. You understand?
That's a metaphor.
Yeah, even as a metaphor,
Listen.
it has to make sense. Here's my thing. I was just saying, consistency is key.
It is key.
It is key.
And that's the
if
bottom
we're
line.
going to fight corruption, we
Cross-cutting.
can't fight corruption today, then tomorrow we start fighting. I don't know. You know, it's consistency.
And the consistency, Gloria, for purposes of clarity, has to be, is cross-cutting. It can't be supposed to be consistent in Third Way Alliance, the ODM, and also not
everywhere.
It can't be Matapeli in a right and my hero in the It cannot be.
So where is the affirmation that also the bottom-up approach and the hustler narrative will also still remain consistent? Because Kenyans have seen the Jubilee Tuko Pamoja era, and when even the NAC Kenya wave, the Rainbow Alliance, and all these things probably is why Kenyans are saying, why should I even vote? Because these people will not even be consistent. Today they're saying this because they want my vote at the end of the day. So consistency, what I'm trying to say or to ask is, how do you choose when it should be consistent And to who
you can't
he should be
choose
consistent.
when to be consistent, because if you are actually truly a leader who cares about the people of this country,
Yeah.
you must be consistent in empowering them.
Yeah.
That's it. The consistency is not today, not tomorrow. Consistency is, are you interested in empowering Kenyans? Then it should be from the word go throughout.
Yeah.
Now, probably what people don't understand, I was trying to showcase that even in a short span of this campaign, most political parties have not been able to be consistent on what they are selling to the Kenyans. If they cannot even be consistent on what they are selling to the Kenyans, how do you think when they actually get into office, they'll be consistent in actually executing any one of the things that they are selling to Kenyans? And I was trying to showcase that if you look at all the parties, or all the alliances, or the people who have come together, including the stragglers, and you look at what they are trying to sell to Kenyans, start from One Kenya Alliance. We still don't know what they're trying to sell to Kenyans. What we know is that they had a launch and they said Kanu Fresh. Whatever that meant, we don't know. For the Kanu Fresh, for the One Kenya Alliance, we don't. You understand? What is the message? At least the one person I can say sincerely who has had a message and has been trying to sell us consistently is Alfred Mutua with his fresh start. At least he's been pushing fresh start, fresh. We don't even know fresh or what, but at least he has been consistent on the messaging. Now, my question was, if this presidential candidate cannot even be consistent on what he's selling you, the electorate. Today he's selling you Buy Kenya, Build Kenya, which is a good initiative. He drops it in 2 weeks, moves to the next one, inawezekana, drops it in a
But
month.
Rachel clarified and said they have not been dropped, they're still on.
That is just, we can sit here and say that, but then if I ask you how they're still ongoing, how are you going to actually showcase that? For UDA, for United Democratic Alliance, and for us Hustler Nation movement, we've been here for now over about 3 years now. We have been consistent. We want to focus on the people at the bottom of the food chain. We want to focus on empowering them, however way possible. And that message has been consistent towards every other action. When we went to build the regional economic blocks, we didn't sit somewhere in the boardrooms with some high-level people. We actually went down to the grassroots, called the people at the bottom, and we built the economics. So we can showcase consistency on the things that we are trying to sell to the electorate.
5 years later, we will sit and discuss that. Consistency.
Absolutely.
All right, I want to move the conversation forward. I know, Rachel, you want to jump in, but we need to pay some bills so that we can be able to light up this studio and keep it fresh like it is. But when we come back, I want us to talk a bit about the issue of poverty and cost of living and the place of leadership in fixing that, whether the leaders deliberately choose to keep Kenyans in that class so that they can always feel that they are the messiahs and they need to be actually be the ones to rescue them and save them. We'll be able to talk about that. Plus, of course, Rachel will be able to drive the point you wanted to bring home. Keep it, park it for now, and then we'll be able to come back. Right, so we're going to take a very short break right now, but when we come back, we will move the conversation forward and get to understand also some of the concerns that you have and the questions that you have according to you as far as the statements that have been made right here on this panel are concerned. Stay with us.
Business, broadcast your sermon, share birthday wishes, make funeral announcements, produce adverts and documentaries, then book and advertise with us today by calling us on +254 700 893 542
700 893 542
or email us on sales@look-up.tv.
The future of money is simple, like unlocking possibilities with a smile and having the world in the palm of your hand. It's the ability to touch many lives at the same time and turn your dreams into reality. It's forgetting and still remembering. Simple is having everything that you love in one place. From the ticket to your next meal, to your ticket to the next holiday. It's an easy way to ask for a boost when you're low. And keeping track of everything on the go. The future of money is simple, and it's here. Download the new M-Pesa app today.
Please make those payments and take dinner out the freezer. Enjoy your day off.
Hey.
How was your day?
Great.
Did you pay the bills?
Abby did it.
And the plumber?
Abby did it.
Send money to your mom?
Abby did it.
Who's Abby?
Bank on WhatsApp with Abby, your 24/7 digital personal banker. Another digital innovation that gets things done. That's Africanacity. That's ABSA.
Did you take dinner out the freezer?
Nairobi, are you ready? October is Dyslexia Awareness Month and the whole world will go red for dyslexia. Join us on 28th of October. Wear the red outfit as we light up the UAP on Mucho Red for dyslexia.
Where will you be watching the glow from? Does the child write B instead of D? Is the child phobic to the red pen due to the numerous X wrongs they get from teachers' marking pen? Do they refer to your child as a slow learner? Your child is simply dyslexic. To be part of the sponsor and for more information about dyslexia, kindly contact 0722 380 952. Let's go red for dyslexia.
Yeah.
Are you looking to turn your passion to purpose? Vera Beauty and Fashion College now brings you online classes at the comfort of your home. We are a TVET-approved institution with over 20 years' experience in training competency-based courses in fashion design and creative arts, cosmetology, hairdressing, beauty therapy, interior design in soft furnishings, event decoration and flower arrangement, hospitality and catering, and training of trainers. To enroll, call us today on 0704 577 577 or visit our website at www.verabeautycollege.com. Vera Beauty and Fashion College, a center of excellence.
Help me identify a beautiful womb. I never came across one till I got to Vera.
Like, follow, subscribe, click the notification button. Join the Look Up TV movement now. Now.
Order. So we are back on here. Thank you so much for still being with us right here. This show continues to be hot, even behind the scenes. Of the hashtag, as always, is the bottom line KE. Feel free to share your thoughts with us based on the statements that have been made on this particular program so far, and any other points that you think you'd like to share or pass across right here on the program. Before we went for the break, we were talking about several issues, including corruption and the role of good leadership, and whether Kenya has had leadership that is deliberate on not dealing with corruption, in a very incisive way. I want us now to talk a bit about the issue issue of high cost of living and, of course, poverty, the poverty, rich or poor and rich gap that we continue to see growing. And this one I'm just going to shoot straight to Okango, but you'll be able to build up. Utaisahau, you want to bring it up before you...
Yes,
before
so that we don't lose track of our discussion.
Just real quick, 1 minute, yeah.
Gloria was talking about consistency.
Consistency, yes.
And talking about Azimio la Umoja being a slogan, Inawezekana being a slogan.
Yeah. And your party dropping
Kenya,
one and starting with another one.
Buy Kenya, build Kenya. I think she's getting this all wrong. Azimio la Umoja is not an ODM affair or a slogan for our party. Azimio la Umoja is an initiative to bring Kenyans together.
And someone would answer,
So
Kenyans not together.
Whether you're in Jubilee,
Yeah.
you're in UDA, you're in ODM, Wiper, Tip if it still exists, then you're saying we can be one thing, we can be a united nation. And you're asking, is Kenya not been together before? Clearly, politically not. And that is the truth. And us bringing this together is just for us to have a seamless and harmonized election.
Kenyans have always argued, and they've said, sisi huku chini tuko sawa. It is the leaders up there who actually have their personal interests. In fact, they actually lie to us. They'll make us fight each other, they'll make us abuse each other, but when there is a function somewhere, you'll see them hugging and, dining and whining together.
And that's why we are doing Azimio la Umoja, such that we don't see someone who propagates an UDA agenda, for example, or Wiper affair, or ODM as an enemy. So that when you are talked to, you start throwing stones at Rachel because Rachel is an ODM person. That is what is happening.
You said that's why we are doing, we as who?
As ODM.
So Azimio la Umoja is an ODM thing.
I just said that Azimio la Umoja has Jubilee, it has UDA, it has ODM. So us as ODM, we are playing our parties and Azimio la Umoja.
Right. Let's go to the issue that I wanted us to talk about, but feel free to still bring back some of the points that you feel we have not exhausted. The issue of poverty brings me to the issue of stragglers. And Okango, there's been a lot of backlash on social media. I say you because you are the only one out of everyone in this studio right now that we saw at that press conference.
Yes.
So I would like you to share with us, I mean, what was that? What is that?
Eugene,
Yeah.
I'll give you the definition of a struggler, then I'll explain to you the concept.
Yeah.
A struggler is anyone who puts in genuine effort for a better future. And
Genuine
with a-
effort.
Genuine effort. And with a plan to end the struggle or the difficulties. Today in this country, 95% of the people who live in this country are struggling in one way or another. And by the way, Eugene, struggling or strugglers is not synonymous with poverty. Because there are people who are perceived to be doing well, but in their own way, they are struggling with something. The struggles of this country currently are a struggle against the fight of corruption. We're struggling to strengthen devolution. We're struggling to include women, or rather the gender inclusivity. We're struggling to create jobs for our young people. We're struggling to be inclusive, economically and politically. That struggle is what must end. Because if you look at our history, the genesis of the struggle started with independence, it came multi-party democracy. We're in the last struggle for economic revolution, which must end. We cannot stay in the struggle and then we associate ourselves like we are proud to be stragglers.
Yeah.
No. So the whole idea, Eugene, is stragglers movement is a movement of all Kenyans. It is not a political party. It is not an Okango affair. It is inviting every Kenyan who believes that they are struggling and the struggle must end. I have seen some people who call themselves other names. They are saying that they are working with the lowly placed, and they are demeaning and undermining the lowly and associating them with poverty. In fact, the definition of a hustler, I can tell you without even mincing my words, you can check. Unscrupulous people who avoid efforts and take shortcut by circumventing the difficulties. That is the definition. So for us, we believe that in struggling, you must have a plan to end. You cannot mobilize people at the low level, whatever name you want to call them, and use them as political mobilization tools. When they come to your rally after paying them and mobilize them, you tell them, I know you are here. And they said, because you are jobless. You must end the joblessness. They don't have a plan. For Stragglers movement, we have been very clear. The plan by 9th August 2022 at 10 a.m., we hope and believe and pray that that struggling that has been witnessed in this country, theft of public money, tribalism, negative things, shall end by choosing the person who has been championing, or the people who have been championing from MCA to the presidency level, the champions of the struggle. And that it will end. And that's what we say, struggle ni real, because it is happening.
Because it's happening. Gloria and Rachel, I want you to listen carefully, because I'll give you a chance to also interrogate this. I'm asking this because I have the mandate to ask on behalf of those who've been sending questions and needing clarification on this. Take us through the process, just very briefly, of that brainstorm meeting, strategic plan, when you sat into that room or whatever place it was to formulate this. Hustler Nation was in mind, no?
I don't know about Hustler. I don't know them.
You don't know the Hustler Nation?
No, I'm not aware.
You're not aware. Why I'm asking this question, because people are saying you are copying the Hustler Nation narrative and movement. You've run out of ideas. You actually struggle to get ideas.
I have seen that. You know why people are talking now?
Yes.
And particularly from that side? Because we have pricked them where it deserves. When one of the buses in this country started a slogan called, we are the leaders. Came, we lead the leaders. Came, we are leaders forever. Let me tell you, Eugene. Today, there's no monopoly of idea. We have seen a group of people in this country who monopolized the radicalization of the young people, and they called them wheelbarrow pushers and hustler. We have told them, you are not a hustler, you are a struggler, because you have been putting genuine effort. A hustler is an unscrupulous person who is circumventing the effort to be successful. The Gamoyas of this politics, the legit, the bizna, those are what we call hustler by definition. It's not Okango saying, that is written. So for me, I want to ask Kenyans who are struggling out there with ending theft of public money that has denied them the opportunity to get jobs, who are struggling with women inclusion, Rachel and Gloria here, who want to be women leaders in parliament. They're struggling with that inclusivity because it is real. I want to invite them to the discussion that will end that struggle by ensuring that come 2022, 9th August, for sure, we shall end the struggle. No one wants to be a struggler. No one wants to be a hustler. But you know what? When people say hustler is good, and they say, what is the difference? Then they demean a struggler, but they praise hustler. You know why? Because hustler want to sustain the hustle. Struggler want to end the struggle.
I'm going to ask one last question, then I'll invite you to also interrogate and maybe share your points.
I speak.
You will speak, Kabisa. So Miguna actually came to a tweet. We had asked people whether this was a hit or a miss from that press conference. And this is what he said: a huge miss. Conman Raila Odinga is copying William Ruto and his hustler movement. That's nothing novel, enlightening, or fresh. This is what he says. Why the affiliation to Raila Odinga? Is this an ODM? Is there an ODM hand in there? Why? And you said the R is actually real and not the R for Raila. No, this is what was said in the press conference that you are actually
Thank God you are watching.
in.
Now, let me tell you, Eugene, there is nowhere, absolutely nowhere, where any person from ODM in their leadership. As a matter of fact, Okango is not even a member of ODM. Okango is a member of Third Way Alliance Kenya. I sent you the leadership of Third Way Alliance Kenya. You saw it. I sent you the approximated membership of Third Way, as SG was the custodian. You saw it. Nowhere. We have said in our statement, which has our letterhead and our logo, and our logo is not R. We did say that our logo, if you look at it, is a broken chain that symbolizes end of the struggle. We are saying that anyone who believes that this is associated with Raila is not honest. And Miguna is a very good friend of mine, a man I respect, a very brilliant person. And you see, when people say some of these things, it is unfortunate. But for me, I want to educate Kenyans on this platform that you have accorded me. Raila Odinga is not a member of this movement. If he wishes to be a member like any other person because he has struggled for this country, is a champion of struggle, he is welcome. If Gloria wishes, if Ruto wishes, he is welcome. But we are saying they are in that press conference and that is used. They are means real. Yeah. Because we need a real struggler, a real champion of the struggle. There is nowhere that the R has been said can only mean Ruto, can only mean Raila. Not at all. We maintain and we are convinced that in the coming election, we need real strugglers, real champions of the struggle to end the struggle. We don't want the Ngamoyas of politics. We don't want them because they are sustaining the struggle. And I'm not attacking anyone. And I've seen also, just to respond, because this is opportunity, people who are saying that this is a third way alliance. No, no, no. I respect my party, and at no given time will I involve my party in such a movement without the approval of NEC. I am in that movement as a struggler, and I am there on my individual capacity as Frederick Okango, who believes that struggling must end. And therefore, I champion it as me, together with other people who believes in it.
Okango.
Thank you.
Gloria, I'm coming to you, but I want to hear first Rachel, because of that R. You see it in a lot of your party leaders. This name is going away, the name of merchandises.
Yes.
The capes and all that. Are you concerned? Because we saw a lot of several Kenyans who are saying that has ODM lost in its strategy plan? What is this? You know, that's what they were saying. Why are we copying the Hustler movement? Aren't you concerned that he says it has nothing to do with ODM, it has nothing to do with Raila Odinga, but yet the R used there, it could have been done in a different style, even if they wanted to do an R. And are you concerned as an ODM member?
Yeah, but again, if you're very keen, the R is not very complete as that of Baba's. Yes, it's also not very complete. But that is neither here nor there. We are not really concerned. We have a movement that is fighting ODM philosophies or ideologies. I think he's made it very clear that they stand for real change or something like that. I'm yet to acclimatize myself with what they really stand for. But we as a party, we have our own ideas. We as a party, we stand for real change for our people, not their real, their real whatever. So if they're borrowing from ODM, it's most welcome as young people. But you know, Baba has pioneered change for this country, economic change, for the longest time. He's fought for this democracy. He's fought for devolution. And that in itself impacts real change in our people. I don't know why he's laughing about it.
Now I'm happy because many people are joining. I'm very impressed.
So that's what I'm saying. Maybe they're borrowing from us because that is what we stand for. And that's what we've been fighting. If you look at BBI issues, for example, it was how can we get more money to our people in Mashinani? What does that bring? Real change for the people.
Right. I want to bring now Gloria. Okango says, you know, hustler, and even with the definition.
It's not me saying that is a definition in the book.
No,
it's not me saying.
I say you brought it up. That's the context.
I quoted.
Yes, it's the same. Bring it up through a quote. I don't want to even ask the question. I would like just to hear your reaction.
I want to say categorically that when you're struggling for political relevance as an upcoming politician, you are definitely going to do such desperate things, like jumping from one movement, Punguza Mzigo, to the next movement, BBI, to the next relevant thing, Third Way Alliance registration, to the next thing, stragglers. When you're struggling for political relevance, you're also not going to feel any kind of empathy by using those at the bottom of the food chain to try and elevate your, your profile. So for me, you know what this is? This is a struggle for political relevance by people who want to be included in this political merry-go-round that is ongoing. Because it is the season of what? It's the transfer season. Now, if you ask me, I have listened to Okango talking about the struggler movement. And I've listened to even the definition he's trying to throw. First of all, the definition that he's trying to convince us here of the hustler is from the Webster dictionary or whatever. But we know, and we are not going to actually, I'm not going to defend or argue the point that the word hustle from as way back more than 10 years ago, has always been associated with hard work. And that is what we've been pushing.
So
when you had him talking about the difference between the struggler and another name that I cannot say, which really is just the hustler, is that he's trying to say that the hustlers are thugs and the strugglers are the real hardworking people. Yet we have sat on this platform, we have talked about the hustle. You cannot convince anyone about hustle and what it means or what it does not mean. The hustle in this contest and in this country means a person who wakes up early, goes out, works hard, and we want that hard work to pay off. So if you ask me, the only struggle that is here is Okango and Co., all the people that you saw at the press conference, trying to seek political relevance. The reason they had the R and not the H, for instance, for honesty, or give me another, or the S for, you know, whatever. The reason they had the R is because R, you know, if we struggle like this, we struggle tuonekane tumefanya press conference, tuonekane nini, R, it can land us with Raila or it can land us with Ruto. These people are struggling for political relevance. These people have created an outfit because they've realized One Kenya Alliance, Akina, Gideon and Co. have no time for jokers. So they are probably, why didn't they put G? Because G could also mean genuine. You know, why didn't they put A? Because A could also mean acing everything, and that could have been Alfred Mutua. No, they put R because the two front runners of this presidential campaign is Ruto.
This is hilarious.
You understand?
I'm
So
liking it.
the moment I come up with a movement that is, unajua ile inaitwanga Olympic fence sitting Olympics. You sit on the fence properly in such a way ikianguka anywhere. You know, you'll win. So wacha tuweke R. That was the strategy. So that tukiona Ruto anaja na sisi because maybe he's already way ahead. He does not need the few movement things that you are doing here. In any case, they'll join. Then we might go and broker a deal with who? With Raila. Now, political relevance, particularly for young leaders like Okango, is okay. Is okay. The sad thing is, you're actually the same people, us, who are sitting and advocating that the youth should not be used as political tools to just further personal agendas. The thing for me that was so sad, and I was watching that thing and I'm like, mumechoma, is that now you're trying to associate that hustle that the youth are pushing, the hustle that we are trying to say we need to empower. You know, he even talked about the next final revolution is the economic revolution. Where did you hear those words if not from the Hustler Nation movement? You get it? So the sad thing is that here comes a youth or a youthful group that is actually struggling to use the youth as political tools so that they can go and sit and broker a deal with the front runners of this presidential race, which is Ruto or Raila, hence the R.
The bottom line here.
If you allow me just a quick response.
A rejoinder, yes.
A rejoinder. I think Gloria has not read the concept of the stragglers movement. There is nowhere in the 700 I mean the 700 plus wording of that document that talks about you.
Where can we get it?
I sent it to you.
No, I'm talking about the public people who want
on our Twitter pages, Stragglers Kenya, Instagram page, Stragglers Kenya, Facebook page, the Stragglers Movement Kenya. And by tomorrow morning it will be on our website.
And you can also get it. You can also get it from the Hustler Nation because it's a replica. It's a copy.
No. You see,
if there should be some rights here.
So Gloria should not feel bad. And by the way, I have nothing personal against hustlers. What I'm just trying to say...
You just called them thugs.
No, I didn't call them.
Yes, you did.
I just gave a
definition. You did just call them thugs.
He mentioned the definition and the dictionary.
Exactly. It's not me. And you can check it. And she acknowledged.
She acknowledged that.
I said.
It's a definition. Let's have order. So let's have order.
It's not about order. We're having a conversation. So if you
throw it out there... is about listening and
speaking. If you throw it out there that you called hustlers thugs,
you'll have to now take charge.
I've noticed that anytime I'm actually defending something, these two are very quick to tell me to shut up. And I'm saying, 3 minutes ago, he called hustlers thugs. So allow me to just put it out there.
Okay,
when he says it doesn't have anything
let me finish. Thank you so much for being kind. What I'm saying is very simple, Eugene. When a movement comes up with an idea, and that idea you feel resonates with yours, support it. Don't go fighting them. For me, I have not fought anyone. I've just said, From the definitions that we see, this is what it says. But Gloria has eloquently educated Kenyans on what they are. We'll take Gloria's word to be the truth.
Right.
So to that extent, we are okay. Lastly, so that Rachel can speak, I believe that, Eugene, in this country, we must be honest. Gloria, 3 times, unknowingly, used the word struggle. She's a struggler herself. She's struggling to ensure that she gets a better future.
I agree
and
with
the
you.
way she goes about it might be different with the way Okango goes about it. It means we are comrades in the struggle. And we must end the struggle. Gloria has not told me how she's going to end the struggle. Maybe she thinks that she's going to end the struggle when she becomes a member of parliament.
I elaborated.
But she has not said. And if Gloria says, and you know Gloria is a very good person.
I've elaborated.
So, okay, maybe I didn't get it.
Yeah.
So lastly,
of course you didn't get it. You're struggling for political relevance.
So lastly, there's nothing wrong. You know, politics is about competition of ideologies.
Yeah.
And the more prominent you are in your ideology, the better for you to pursue that agenda.
Yeah.
Political relevance. The reason why Gloria today is speaking eloquently about their hustle is because she is struggling to be there so that she can win the people of Bobasi. For me, I acknowledge her and I appreciate her. Therefore, I want to ask all the strugglers out there, please join the movement that finally will ensure that the struggle ends.
Yeah.
And if you think that this movement has something that they can do better in terms of change, we welcome the criticism, we welcome it. And we are not pursuing Raila or Ruto because of the R. We are just real people. And if it means that Ruto is a real person and is a real struggler, then he should join stragglers movement. If it means that Raila is a true champion and of the struggle and would want to end the struggle because we have read and we have seen he has been a champion of the struggle, then Raila should. If it means Mudavadi and my good friend Gideon Moi does the same, they should. We are going to launch what is called the Stragglers Manifesto. In that Straggler Manifesto, we are going to highlight so many things. Lastly, Gloria should stop abusing the word youth because the youth in this country, we know who has radicalized them. There's a section of leadership in this country that has radicalized the youth. And that's why the stragglers have come in and say, you know what? You have been struggling. End the struggle so that you stop the radicalization.
Who has radicalized them?
There are so many leaders out there.
Speak the truth.
There are so many leaders
you
out there.
stand for real change.
Yes,
who
and
has
the real
radicalized
change
the youth?
says that there are so many leaders who have radicalized.
Who has
She has a valid question.
Who? Because Eugene, in fact, the people we saw throwing stones, who? Please give us a name of this person who you say has radicalized them. Speak now. The real struggler.
You see, Eugene, we are not here
of course
to throw stones. Therefore, Gloria should stop throwing the stones at me. But Gloria should acknowledge that as a leader, if she watches news, if she visits, if she has been at Bobasi, she has seen where people say, if you are not an ODM member, hakuna kuingia hapa. If you are not a UDM member, hakuna kuingia hapa. If you are not a donor NC, hakuna kuingia hapa. That is radicalization because you have been radicalized by idea of your party or of your leader. I am saying, I'm giving those as examples.
Okango has had too much time
10 minutes
speak,
to go.
and he's not even giving us
I just wanted Okango to just clarify one thing for me.
Yes.
How they are going to achieve the MCA to presidency strugglers team.
Exactly.
And yet it's just a movement, it's not a political party.
Now,
it's coming with the manifesto.
A political party has got an opportunity to fill their candidate in whichever way. A movement is open to any member of any political party who believes that their ideologies rhymes with the ideology of their party that sponsor him or her. So what we are saying, if there are members in ODM that believe in strengthening devolution like they do, if there are members in ODM who believe in ending the struggle like some of them do, if there are members of UDA who believes in women inclusivity in politics like Gloria does, then it is at that point that we will tell our members, by the way, Gloria believes in one of our ideologies of women inclusion. If you are a struggler in Bobasi, please vote for Gloria. If you are a struggler in Bondo, please vote for Rachel. That is what we are saying. It is not that the movement is going to fill. The movement is going to support and encourage those who identify with that struggle and have demonstrated that they have got the will to end that struggle.
So in a case, I think,
when I say that it was political relevance,
I want to take control now,
Okay.
because now you guys want to ask
many
the question
questions.
on this. The conversation was not about the stragglers, but the bottom line here is that 2022 young people are going to play a very major role in this election in terms of the new voters, the perceived or the targeted new voters to register to participate. And hence what we see today in terms of trying to woo these young people. There's been a lot of activities, a lot of people changing dress codes. We've seen even the language so that people can relate to these young people, promises and all those kind of things. Young people are whispering in my ears and they're saying, these politicians do not really care about us. These people are just out to use us. Wanatutumia vibaya. They know we are vulnerable. They know we have these challenges. And what they're trying to do is just to make us feel good now, but come after the elections, we'll still remain in the same way that we are. Closing remarks. I want to start with you, Rachel. What is it that you'll be telling that young person who's refused to go to register as a voter because of what they perceive as poor leadership, or even the leadership that is there not responding to their innermost needs as a Kenyan? What is it that you'll be telling them tonight?
Thank you, Eugene. One thing that the youth must know, that the future of this nation is in that vote that they will cast. The leaders that we have are in that vote that you will cast. So the choice is yours to have a better future. The choice is yours to have a bad future. And how do you achieve this? By actually vetting the leaders who've come up or aspiring leadership positions. So that we have Rachel. What does Rachel stand for? Do you want to go with Rachel because Rachel is an ODM member? Do we want to go with another aspirant because there's euphoria at that point? This is the party that people are singing around here. Yeah. Whereas you know for sure that this person will not even be able to articulate your issues in parliament. So young people should take up their role and vet the leaders.
Vet the leaders.
Whom they believe in.
Yeah. Okango.
I believe that for a very long time, the young people have been told you're the leaders of tomorrow. Then they changed and told them you are the leaders of today. We are telling them we're the leaders of now. Why? Because majority of these young people are Kenyans, and the majority of the young people are the stragglers. And we are saying it is time to end the struggle. The struggle of joblessness, the struggle of fight against corruption that has denied the young people opportunity must end. The struggle against the inclusivity of bringing women into politics, into leadership, appointive, elective, must end. The young people have got the numerical strength. And I want to urge them, as we go towards the end of the voter registration, we have got over 6 million new voters that are anticipated. Majority of them are against the young people. Please, get out and take the voters card, register. It is not about the party. It's not about the leader that you want to associate with, but it's about you. Because when you put the right leader that will end your struggle, it's the time that you will benefit, your kids will benefit, your kids' kids will benefit. Lastly, because I will not have another opportunity, I want to say something about our party. I respect our party and its leadership. And there is in no uncertain terms that I will allow my party to be demeaned. And therefore, I have seen comments on Twitter, on Facebook about Third Way. This movement is not about Third Way. It is not sponsored by Third Way. Okango is just a member of Third Way and a leader in Third Way. And at no time Okango has involved the party, because we believe that straggler movement is bigger than political party. It is a movement of all Kenyans. And only those who wish and associate with it can join. Therefore, I want to urge my party members, we have been peaceful in the last few days. I want to encourage reconciliation. I want to ask them, there's no need of fights, because when you're fighting, you are spoiling. Yeah. I want to ask those who are fighting, and particularly those who are fighting and might not even be members, to calm down, let's reason together and work together, because that is the ultimate spirit of leadership.
They've termed you as a rent seeker in the party.
Well, I saw that, but you know what? You don't respond to such things, because when somebody has an opinion, you cannot change that opinion. So you just leave it to pass. And that's why you see, a lot of times Okango is not responding, but Okango is seeking for reconciliation. My party leader was here the other time, and a gentleman with Brent, a gentleman I really respect. There are other leaders. He's doing his best to ensure that this party comes back to normalcy. He's doing his best to ensure that this party is an institution beyond him, beyond Okango, beyond everyone. I want to thank him for that. And I want to encourage Dr. Okot to continue doing that, because at the end of the day, the institution will stand, but people will go.
People will go. Gloria, you have the last or the final word. Would you be telling him to just abandon Third Way and mobilize with the stragglers and former stragglers party?
No, first of all, I really want to say that I want to thank my party leader for United Democratic Alliance, the Deputy President William Ruto, for introducing a new culture in our politics, for actually being that pioneer and showing that leadership, that we can move from tribal politics and all this divisive politics into issue-based politics. Because had he never introduced the idea of hustlers, the idea of the bottom-up economic approach, we would not even be having movements such as the straggler movement. So I want to really, really appreciate the fact that he has stayed on course, that he has not wavered. And I want to say to those who actually believe that empowerment should actually start from the bottom going up, we are still on course. A lot of this, you know, wanasema, the wind will blow this way and that way, but the trees, the solid trees will stand. And we are still there. We are still talking about a bottom-up economic approach. Not only are we talking about it, we are demonstrating through even how we campaign. You saw how the by-elections, how we held the by-elections. We have changed even the mode of campaign from just the usual rallies, T-shirts, and handouts. We have now come down to saying, how can we campaign in the marketplace? Can't we push that we go to so-and-so market and actually empower those who are in that market and show them that once, you know, so-and-so becomes MCA or MP, what they're going to do in this market is ABCD. We have demonstrated as United Democratic Alliance that, you know, it's not just about PR and slogans.
But you're aware of a market where they said they counted so many losses after.
You know, even there's something that even there's something that you did not talk about, because when people are talking about, you know, the difference between hustlers and stragglers, for us it's really about the person who's at the bottom, which is why even the issue of the sex workers, we are approaching it. We would like to say we are not blind to the fact that there is a trade out here, and it's not because they choose to be sex workers. We are actually saying this thing about the bottom-up economic approach is not limited to Mama Mboga, is not limited to Boda Boda. It can also go down to the sex workers. We are also out here to acknowledge that these people exist. That's the first thing as a party. Second, that they are not there out of choice, but out of circumstance. Third, that actually government can actually get them out of there. So at the end of the day, and I welcome the idea of all these movements. And we are just in October, not even December. Come February to Kivunja Bunge, there will be more movements. We welcome these movements because, as I said, we have now moved to issue-based politics, which my party leader, William Ruto, has introduced to this country. And I thank him for that.
Right.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Eugene, I think it's good for clarity.
Tunataka kufunga.
Tutafunga
just
tu.
1 minute.
Yes, I know, but I allowed how we did closing remarks. Yeah, we did closing remarks.
Let me just read the comments as we go, but we can always have the conversation going on. David Nganga says, Okango struggling more than a straggler. Hana Msimamo, Raila Stooge, this is what he says. One word for him.
That's his opinion, and you know, I respect that. I thank him for encouraging the struggler to struggle more so that we can have a better future for him and his kids.
Okango, you just study PR?
Not really, but in leadership, you must know how to handle stubborn people.
So Joy Mark says, we refuse to let the youth of this country be gambled like puppets. Youths are targeted only when the Tumbocrats want to push their different political themes, tags, and templates. The youth get no benefit to this or from this country. Youth deserve inclusive agenda. Say no to impunity. This is what he says. Sally Daniel says, hot politics. And then we have Leonida Ashoya says, this discussion is below the belt. All these are vultures waiting for meat to fall. James Kinyo says, siasa moto sana, is this relevant to the ordinary kijana wa mtaa? Atawezana kweli? Of course, these are some of the...
tuna struggle si wote tutawezana.
That's the comment. Inawezekana. The colloidal structure says, tonight the show is super amazing. The conversation is very exciting. You just got to tune in here every Monday. Kangwa's Finest too says, Frederick Okango, don't you think you came too late to the idea of stragglers? I am sure this team speaks for some people in high places. Where did you leave Third Way Alliance?
I wouldn't know whether they speak for some people in some high places, but I think it's never too late to do the right thing. We are doing the right thing, and we are doing it in our way. I want to encourage him or her to join so that we do the right thing. And if there's somewhere that we don't do the right thing, feel free to encourage us, criticize us, and help us do the right thing.
Let me read one more. Gloria, the only problem is the rigidity of ideas, leave alone inconsistency that you're trying to push for. All politicians only eat the bread where it is buttered, nothing more than that. Do you really empower the electorate? This is what he says. Just one.
No, I would say, I mean, he has a valid point. Because from what we have seen in the past, and this is why we are actually vying, some of us, so that we can showcase that you can actually elect a leader who's more keen in pushing for development than, pocketing the funds.
Don Sabwa says, ask Gloria to stop laughing. That is a bad behavior.
I'm a joyful person. I'm just happy. I'm happy to have everyone inside. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm just a happy person.
So, one last one from Malim Lunani says, kindly organize an interview with Raila on Look Up TV soonest as well. Impressive work done at the bottom line.
Thank you. Why don't you bring Ruto?
Yeah, all of them. See, utaorganize hiyo maneno. Na utaorganize hiyo ingine. Na alafu utaleta stragglers.
By the way.
Daktari Ekuru was here. And
he's not a straggler, is he?
No. I'm not saying he is, but I'm saying, when you're looking at party leaders, Dr. Ekuru, my party leader, was here.
By the way, Eugene, no, on a very serious note, we do recognize that this platform has a lot of followers who are hustlers. It's been recognized. No, and that's why I keep, anytime you invite me, I keep coming because I understand that literally the Hustler Nation movement is tuned in. So, I mean, really, why not? Let's get our party leader.
Your station
let's get our party leader. No, they're tuned in.
No. The bottom line is we want to bring all of them here and have conversations that are meaningful, conversations that are solutions focused. On that note, we end the conversation right here on these four walls, like we always say, but they continue on the social media platforms. Don't be shocked when you start seeing your short videos running around across different WhatsApp groups. That is how we do it right here on the Bottom Line KE on Look Up TV. We'll continue doing this until when the country actually gets on the proper track that we all wish it to be on. We will see you again next week, same time, same place, 9 p.m. on Monday. And of course, my name as always is Eugene. And Nagwe. Goodbye for now.
Business, broadcast your sermon, share birthday wishes, make funeral announcements, produce adverts and documentaries, then book and advertise with us today by calling us on +254 700 893 542
700 893 542
or email us on sales@look-up.tv.
The future of money is simple, like unlocking possibilities with a smile and having the world in the palm of your hand. It's the ability to touch many lives at the same time and turn your dreams into reality. It's forgetting and still remember it. Simple is having everything that you love in one place. From the ticket to your next meal, to your ticket to the next holiday. It's an easy way to ask for a boost when you're low. And keeping track of everything on the go. The future of money is simple, and it's here. Download the new M-Pesa app today.
Yeah.
Are you looking to turn your passion to purpose? Vera Beauty and Fashion College now brings you online classes at the comfort of your home. We are a TVET-approved institution with over 20 years' experience in training competency-based courses in fashion design and creative arts, cosmetology, hairdressing, beauty therapy, interior design in soft furnishings, event decoration and flower arrangement, hospitality and catering, and training of trainers. To enroll, call us today on 0704 577 577 or visit our website at www.verabeautycollege.com. Vera Beauty and Fashion College, a center of excellence.
Help me identify a beautiful womb. I never came across one till I got to Vera.
Goko kwa Muthingi FM kiumo gia gutheremania getwo Charity Wareno aka.
Oh hi, the script. I have been trying to edit this script for such a long time. It just doesn't seem to make so much sense. I mean, bogs, shouldn't that be dogs?
Could this person be dyslexic? Yeah, because we could have a genius amongst us. You know, like Whoopi Goldberg, Tom Cruise, even Muhammad Ali was dyslexic.
When my son was in pre-primary, I learned or I realized that he was not reading like other students.
As the government of Kenya starts rolling out the CBC learning curriculum, the learning of special students like those living with dyslexia here in Kitengela at Rare James School has been going on for years.
I am Nancy Nalima and this is Trending News.
You see, we are all different. We have different hair textures, different body types. We enjoy different types of food and also different forms of entertainment. So, why should it be that we expect everyone to think and learn in the same way? Why? That is why all of us right here at KM Lookup Media share a golden perspective that persons with dyslexia simply reflect an island of weakness in a sea of strengths. And in this month of October, we want to join the rest of the world and we choose to be counted amongst those standing with them. KM Lookup Media, Ngasimama.